this upgrade would be like, and don't with the upgrades and the metaphors I'm using, don't take these two items and key with the performance of these two cameras I'm comparing them to. That makes sense. I think that makes sense. But this upgrade would be like me going from a Toyota Camry to a Toyota Avalon. Why? Yo, what's up everybody? My name is Sean Brooks, creative director at Brookssmedia, and I'm a videographer based right here in Chicago. My channel reviews camera, lenses, mics, lights, you name it. I also be giving you guys business tips that I've learned throughout the way to make you a better videographer and a better business person. That sound like something that interests you, make sure you sub to the channel, hit the notification bell, and also make sure you follow me on IG and Twitter for exclusive BTS footage. One last thing, notice some of you guys who watch my videos, I have a lot of people who's watching not subbed. What you waiting on? Just sub, baby, just help your boy out. I know you interested, you keep coming back for a reason. Just hit the sub button. That's all I need you to do. Nonetheless, though, let's get into the video. I want to say this. For a person who's never even touched the XT4, I've touched the XT3, nice camera, but who's never even touched the XT4, I can kind of get why I might get some hate from this video, but at the very least, all I do is ask that you hear me out, and if it don't make sense, if it's just like complete bullshit, hit the dislike button and we'll go from there. You know what I'm saying? I'm for real. But if you really rock with it, you understand, you get what I'm saying, all I'm saying is hit the like button and say, I'm with you. That's all I'm asking. Comment, I'm with you. So, here we go. I want to say this. Before we get to this, I want to point out key things the GH5 has out the gate that the XT4 does not have now. The GH5 is the 2017 camera. The XT4 is the 2020 camera, okay? The GH5 does not have a record limit, it has a full HDMI slot, and it has custom dials. Those are the three things I'm naming out the gate because the fourth one I'm actually holding for one of the reasons why it's not an upgrade for me. So, let's get into it. Number one, start off with something small. The lenses are actually way cheaper for GH5 on a Panasonic lineup or Micro Four Thirds period in comparison to something like the XT4. The XT4 lenses are like ridiculously expensive. Now this could be because for the most part with the GH5 you have like a lot of different options, and Fuji just opened up their third-party options now, like recently. Other than Viltrox, you really wouldn't get like no Sigma lens and nothing like that. Well, versus on the GH5 you can. So, prime example, the GH5, you can get you a Sigma lens, 16mm f1.4. Heck, we even throw the 15mm f1.7 in there. To get a 16mm f1.4 on a GH5, you're looking like around brand new $400 used, like I got 300. On the Fuji XT4 though, that lens brand new is gonna cost you $1,000. And if you want that used, probably like around $700 to $730. Fam, I'm not giving you that. And don't get me wrong, like that lens is fire, but to me, I'm a Sigma fanboy. I have yet to really come across Sigma glass that I didn't like, because even on the Micro Four Thirds, this Sigma 16 that we shooting on right now with the variable ND filter is looking good. So for me, it's like the lenses are actually a big thing, man. Like every lens that I own, like right now, retailing for, honestly, under $1,000. Like real talk, even the Toyota 35, I know brand new when it came out was over $1,000, whatever. But right now, every lens that I currently own for my GH5 is under $1,000. Can't say that if you got a Fuji XT4, just being real. Next, let's talk about the autofocus. Now, I know what y'all gonna say. Just like how the GH5 had time, the XT4 is gonna have firmware updates to make its autofocus great. But as of right now, if I was to say, you know what, I want an XT4 right now, because of phase tech, I would be kind of disappointed because every video I've seen, for the most part, is pulsating, it's hunting a little bit. It's not really spot on. Like the phase tech autofocus for the XT4, to me, is about, let's just say if the GH5 autofocus, I say for me, about 60 to 70%, like I can get the shot that I'm looking for with autofocus. With the XT4, you probably like around 75 to 80. I mean, like it's higher, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, let's just say on the low side it's 60% with the GH5, and then let's just say on the high side it's 80% with the XT4. That's a 20% difference for me to sit here and invest into a whole new camera system and to spend more money on new lenses. For a 20% increase in autofocus, nah, fam, nah, you're gonna have to, I'm gonna need a little bit more. I'm gonna do this a little bit more. Next, third thing, bitrate. Now, the GH5 shoots 400 megabits all intra 422 10-bit, no problem. The XT4 shoots 400 megabits as well, but since that's the tie, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the XT4 actually has 240 frames per second as far as this, video bit rate is concerned, and then the GH5 has 180 frames per second. So they're tied with the 400 megabits, but technically the XT4 technically has better slow-mo. But here's the problem with this theory, or this thing. At 240 frames per second, you're gonna need a all of light depending on what you're shooting, because you're gonna have to double that frame rate. So at 240 frames per second, you're gonna have to shoot at 1/480th of a second. That shutter speed, and then on top of that, it's soft. I don't be real, I got 180 frames per second on my GH5, but I usually use 120 because that's like more than enough. 60 frames is actually more than enough. That's why I shoot 4K 60 and a lot of stuff, because it gives me enough flexibility where I want to do something slow-mo, I can. And if I don't, and then I don't have to. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just so flexible. So for me, if I already got 400 megabits per second and 240 frames per second is not something I would use, then what am I really gaining there? You see what I'm saying? Like, then on top of that, at least with my GH5, again, I don't have a limit on my recording. I don't have a recording limit. On the XT4, you do. So it's like, yeah, that's cool, but if you record like a long interview, 400 megabits per second, you gotta go keep checking your camera. Whereas me, I don't. Number 4 thing, now this is petty, but it's still a fact. Again, I'm telling y'all it's petty, but it's still a fact. The XT4 technically does not have true 422 10-bit, but the GH5 does. The GH5 has 422 10-bit internal recording. Doesn't need an external recorder. Internally, I can get 422 10-bit out of my baby right here. The XT4, you get 420, and then, you know, chroma subsampling. You know, you can't notice the difference. I get it, but I'm just saying, at the end of the day, if we're talking about upgrades and specs for specs, something on paper, technically, the GH5 has a better spec. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I get what y'all saying. Like, yeah, like APS-C, this and that, but it's like, yo, fam, your major upgrade, let's just say if you was upgrading for like better low light, or better picture quality, let's just say. Technically, the GH5, you actually know what you're doing, you can get a very good picture quality out of the GH5. The GH5 can actually shoot 6K. If you didn't know they need a video to find out how to do that, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, and I'll show you guys how to unlock that feature. But nonetheless, the GH5 shoots 6K. And like, if you were to upgrade to the Fuji XT4, like, yeah, it got a bigger sense, but it's a 0.5 difference. So you going from like shooting comfortably at ISO 3200 to maybe ISO 6400. I'm not saying it's not a big deal, but it's just like, nah, fam, like, not for me to upgrade. So if I were to sell my GH5 right now, all these lenses, I probably can get the XT4 and like, you know, with the kit lens, but it's like, now I have no other lenses. I lost all my versatility and everything. I have to stick with this one lens and make it work. Not saying that I couldn't, because I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, but at the same token, why go through it? I feel like, real talk, if you upgrade from a GH5 to an XT4, you should slap yourself. Just 100. I'm probably gonna get disliked for that part too, but whatever. Just being real, bro. Like, after I named you guys everything spec for spec, where's the upgrade? It's your boy Sean Brooks, man. I'm out. Deuces.